Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode Skyblock. Crisis sorta averted. So, last episode we were working on some stuff, and I think we were working on the farm a little bit. I don't actually remember, to be honest, because I've spent the last good hour or two trying to make this area, trying to make our base a little bit more, working. We are pretty much out of power. We are starting to get power now because I've actually done the thing. I want good food. I don't want nasty soy milk. I want good extreme chili. Although in real life I wouldn't. I'd probably eat this chili because it doesn't have hamburger in it. But that's just me. Yeah, I have been spending the last about 2 hours trying to get the farm up and running enough so that we actually have power coming in. And let's see, I've moved all the solar panels from there over to somewhere where it get power. Disconnected this guy completely, which was fine because he wasn't really going to do anything anyways. I don't even know. Yeah, it's empty anyway, so this didn't actually matter other than anything here using power, which I guess that really didn't matter at all. So the biggest thing was we kept running out of power and I couldn't access any of my stuff. That's the downside with applied energistics, but it was easy enough to fix. I had to get four and a little bit more than 4.5 stacks of all of these seeds, which I actually did with clippings. That took a little bit of time. And let's go look at the actual farm and all the things I've done with it. So, it is not finished. One, we are still working on trying to get more dirt. And two, we need a lot more pressers than we have. Also had to fix the pressers because they weren't actually outputting. They only output from the bottom, so I have to have them up like this. But what I'll probably end up doing is I might rotate these guys around to this side, and then I could probably also move this like vertically or something, and just have a huge line of pressers here, because that is actually what's slowing us down. We have 25 stacks of we have 25 stacks of soybeans already from this. So as you can see, lights work, the sprinklers are working, and I've got everything hooked up. We just need a lot more dirt, like I said. But we are producing quite a bit. Not nearly as much as we could be, but these guys are running out of power. You should be receiving power, but it's probably not going to it immediately. Oh. That's a mistake. Let's fix that. Yeah, the cyclic assemblers aren't actually connected to anything. That is a problem. Let's go ahead and fix that. That shouldn't be too hard. But today we are going to step away from that kind of stuff, and we're going to start working on automating one more thing. Well, at least somewhat automating it. We will automate it fully later. There are some things we're going to need. But let's do this just to get a bunch of redstone into the system. I'll have to do that every once in a while until I teach the system how to make the actual redstone itself, which I can probably go ahead and do. I've been doing that with some of the stuff. There's so many things that are broken, moving from the new system to the new system rather. So like gold nuggets. 10 doesn't work the same because if we look at 10, we were getting this thermal foundation style of 10 before, but now whenever we craft it, we get railcraft with the 10 blocks. I'm not entirely sure what our system is going to get. Let's see. Why is it trying to pulverize that? No, bad. I just want to see what I would love to see what that's going to do, but doesn't really matter to me right now. So that's something that's a question. But do we have... So it's going to cook it, but it's not going to have anywhere to go yet. I still need to fix that. I still need to do quite a bit. But we're going to be making the mob grinder today. And this thing is kind of amazing. But we're going to need to go get some Draconium. Actually, a lot of Draconium. Didn't realize that. So we're going to try to make that today. But yeah, so the mob grinder is an amazing block that will one-shot the Wither, which is good considering we're going to need nether stars. We're going to need nether stars for a lot of things. But specifically, we're going to need nether stars for things like, let's see, wyvern cores. If we want to make any more crystal matrix ingots, I don't think we need to do that. But wyvern cores, which we're going to need for a lot of different things, such as swords, draconic armor, awaken cores. Each one of these is going to require 4 nether stars. Draconium blocks, which actually it requires 5 nether stars, plus a couple more, I think. I don't know. It's not going to be fun. But if we automate the Wither, it'll be a little bit easier. So do we have those flux ducts? We do. Cool. So let's go fix that mistake before it causes any issues. And the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to go look for Draconium. So Draconium is found in the end, and unfortunately that means we're going to have to kind of look around for a little bit. And pretty much, yeah, it's just a matter of finding some Draconium. This guy, by the way, is going to be moved to here. Because I realized I'm going to have to go, like, here on that. So just put those for right now. If we need them, we can grab them, but let's just do that. And actually, let's go ahead and do that as well. And just kind of clean this up a little bit. So pull that down. We can actually take the fluid trash can, which I made one for each. That is just to get rid of the sludge. You can put that right there. And I needed that last one. So we're just going to clean this up a little bit and make it look a little bit nicer. And let's see right here. So it's going to go right there. Just break these 2 blocks and might as well get this hooked up. Once I make another harvester, we can put the mushrooms here. That's going to require even more dirt and a little bit more special consideration, just because mushrooms are a little bit weird to grow. But we are making plenty of everything but the peppers, which is not a surprise considering I think that's the thing we have the least of. But hey, we got some research. So yeah, let's just fly back, and we're gonna head to the end. Now, if we can find some Draconium, that'd be awesome. But honestly, it's one of those things that actually, let's take a look at the recipe for the mob grinder and see what all we're gonna need. Now we're going to want to automate all of this stuff eventually. It's not a concern right now, and for the mob grinder itself, we're just going to try our hardest to get stuff. So the mob grinder requires pellets of RTG fuel. We should be able to do that pretty easily. We have plenty of plutonium, so yeah, that's simple. In fact, do we have any pellets? No. But that's something that's going to be easy enough. In fact, let's go ahead and get a little bit of that. So I'll just throw some plutonium in here, and we should be able to auto-craft the pellet of RTG fuel, which we're going to need to get more of those anyways. We're going to need to get 9 of those, or 8 Is it 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is 8 of those. But that's not a problem. So the pellets of RTG fuel, easy enough. So that is the easiest part of this. So the mana dust is pulverized mana infused metal, which we get from... What can we get that? Mana infused metal. So how do we get that stuff? Molten mithril. I believe, I thought it was shiny. But, let's see, that gives us pulverized shiny metal. Should we make Enderium? So that's something we're going to have to figure out how to get. But then it also requires Primal Mana, which is Liquid XP and Molten Draconium. So we need Draconium. Liquid XP is easy enough. So that part is easy. And we just need to figure out how to get this mana infused dust. So mana infused ore we can get from laser drilling. That might be the intended method. Native mithril ore sand. Oh wait, no, we get mithril. Derp. I knew that. So we can just get this. Mithril ore sand. Let's get a hammer. And we'll need to automate netherrack eventually, but for right now, we don't need too much of this stuff. We'll see how much of it we actually need by the time we're done, but I think, can we pulverize this into multiple? Smelting, smelting, smelting. Ooh, QED. With 2 pieces of coal. So that is how we're going to get that. And that should give us enough of this stuff. So mana infused ingots. I think that's the mana dust is the only thing it's really used for. We just need it for pretty much everything that's sword or armor. Okay. What is that bow? Shiny reinforced bow. Alright. So we're also gonna need emerald ore. That's gonna be fun to get. And a lot of nether stars actually. Pure mana is used for some of the higher tier stuff. So we're gonna need more of this eventually, but for now, this will be enough. So that's gonna take a while. We can kind of move on from that. And then the only other thing that we need is, yeah, we're going to need the emerald ores. So emerald ores, I believe, can't we make that? Yeah. So it's a block and a piece of stone and an induction smelter. So that's easy enough. So pretty much at this point, the things we need to do is get Draconium. Etheric Sword is unstable ingots. We can handle that. Which, yeah, we have enough diamonds, I think, to handle making... oops. Just throw my diamonds everywhere. We can handle making the unstable nuggets. We have a division sigil ready to go. So that's easy enough. And yeah, so the etheric sword we have, there's the emerald ore. And yeah, I think all we need to do right now is let's head to the end. So let's keep our builders 1 here. Let's take some blocks just in case. Something else I'd love to get. Let's see how feasible that would be real quick. It is called dislocation, item dislocator. We need a wyvern core. Alright, so that's not too terrible. Eventually we're going to need to upgrade it, but that's fine. How much is this guy? He's pretty bad as well, and also requires an awakened core, plus an ender core, but that's easy enough. That is nasty, but super useful. So, let's go to the end. We need to find a meteor. So first things first, I'm going to just kind of look at this. So 100, 0. Let's go in this direction. And you know what? I realize that this is probably going to be boring. So I am going to look around for a bit and see if I can't find a meteor and go from there. So I will be right back. Alright, so I think that is a bust. It's so hard to tell where you're going and finding anything, and I don't even know if the meteorites spawn. They probably don't. I could probably check the config and see if they do, but I was looking up kind of ideas online because that's what I do, is I look for other people's help all the time. And most people suggest just kind of going straight out and doing endstone sifting. So let's take a look at that. If we want Draconium, let's get to it. So we can get it from the ore, sure. But there's also Draconium dust, which comes from sand, which comes from gravel, which we can get 2% chance from netherrack, or there's another way. Endstone. Crushed endstone will also give you where is crushed endstone will give you platinum and 7% chance of draconium. And then that will be decent enough. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to mass produce endstone. Now, I believe I have it here on demand as I need it. So that's one thing. But what we're probably going to want to do is expand this guy to another one of these, or actually probably two, with as many fortune upgrades as we possibly can manage. And in fact, I'm going to grab all of these. And let's see how nasty this is if we give it just a ton of fortune and speed upgrades. It requires 200 RF per tick. Not too bad. So I have a good bit of glowstone. But the problem is glowstone is all in block form. So if we want to take it out of block form, what's going to be the best way? What's the most efficient way? This is something, the niter wart is something we'll probably grow later and add to the farm, because that would be nice to have. So macerator, mana infusion, pulverizer, give you 4. Yeah, so pulverizing it. So what we need is blank patterns. Can we make like 20 of those? We're missing glowstone. Of course we are. So let's just bring this down here. Now eventually we're gonna have these guys set up to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit faster. We're gonna make them resonant machines and make them go really fast. But that's gonna require a lot of power, and we're not quite there. Now something else that I read was that we can get the Primal Mana. So let's see, mob grinder. So the mana dust, we can get the Primal Mana. If we can get a little bit of this, then we can actually use it to make, if we make a bucket's worth, we can turn silver ore into the mana. So that's something to look at. We have a lot of silver, which kind of need to do that as well. And I believe if we want silver ore, let's take a look at that. Silver ore, we can make this one. So 4 silver dust. And so I think we could probably get at least a little bit of this. We have some endstone. We're going to want, let's take a half a stack. And we're going to pulverize it. Do we have any silver? No. But that is something we can actually kind of affect. We can change things around just a little bit and kind of make it so we don't put all of the silver ore into the system. So that's something we could do if this works well enough. Let's go ahead and just come over here. We're going to pulverize that. And why is that not working? Oh, right, it takes 4 of those. Great. So that doesn't actually help us. So recipe, powdered silver. So really we just need more silver and to hope for the best. There's some silver gravel. It goes in there. It goes in there, and it should kind of process, which is what I want to see. So let's just let it do its thing, and we'll see if we get any more silver. But we need to get the Primal Mana anyways, so let's get 16 crushed endstone. We throw this all in here, it's going to go incredibly fast. And we got nothing. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up automatic endstone production. And let's fly over here for a second. We're going to want to get glowstone into this. And to do that, we're going to need some blank patterns. Make 30 of those. And do we have any Draconium in here? This is the other place. We have a little bit. So we can take that, we can hammer it down, and eventually we'll have this automatic, because we're going to need to. This mod pack will require a lot of Draconium, and since we can't, since I'm not going to get it from comets in the end, we'll have to just deal. So we can, again, QED is probably the best. So I don't believe you can automate the QED at all, which is a shame, but for now, because of the amount of Draconium we're going to need, I think this will be fine. So do we have the blank patterns yet? We have enough. Processing pattern, glowstone equals 4. And that goes into the pulverizer, which barely has enough room. I'm going to need to set up more things probably eventually. And let's see if we have the silver. So it would be crushed silver ore, and we can take that out, make even more, and that should give us enough. So this guy is super slow. I'm gonna upgrade a lot of these systems, and we might actually even move this one. I don't know. If we move it like this direction, and then we could pipe all of our items into where is the, I think this guy, yeah, because he doesn't have anything on him, so we just pipe all the items in there and it should be fine. So that's an idea, at least. I don't know if we'll do it, but this is definitely going to move probably closer over here. And these guys will eventually move as well. I just need to have them down so that they worked and did the things they're supposed to do. So there is 1 silver ore. Let's see if this works, how this works, and whether or not it is worthwhile. So, do we have Draconium? We have Draconium. We have a little bit of Draconium. Not much, but a little bit. So, in order to make the Primal Mana, which is what we're after right now, Primal Mana is made with, I believe that is 2 ingots, or is that 1 ingot? 1 ingot, it's 2 ingots. So 2 ingots of Draconium, and a bunch of well, actually a bucket of XP. So let's get a fluid duct. Let's get a drum. So that is going to be iron plates, a little bit of iron, and I believe it is steel, correct? Yes. So there is a drum. We're going to want a couple things. And do we have any, like, tanks? We do. So the other thing, let's get another servo. Doesn't actually matter what kind. But we're going to have on this side input, and I guess right here we will have output, and this guy will be enabled on high. That is fine. So all we have to do is grab our bucket. I also want a lever. So a bucket, and we're going to do this manually for now just because there might be better ways to get Primal Mana. So XP button, bucket. So that just made some of the Primal Mana. Let's just move that torch. And there we go. We have Primal Mana. So we need to make a good bit of that. Let's get 2 more buckets of experience. We have 20 in there. So there's 1 and 2. And then we can hopefully throw in all of this Draconium. It will melt down and make more. And then we just check. Wow. So I don't actually know how many of these guys we can have in there. But the recipe is pretty cheap in our Electrum and Diamonds. So I'm going to make just a ton of those. And we're going to have automatic sieve down here hooked up to the production of Endstone. And everything will be fine. So let's go ahead and just make 1,000. Yeah. Just to get rid of a lot of that stuff. Let's go ahead and sleep so we get a little bit more power from the solar panels. And we're kind of at the point that I need to do more work off camera than on. And there is more. I just want to see if this works. So we just need like 1 more set of Draconium. So let's go ahead. There's pulverized. There's 16 more. Let's make sure there's no Draconium in here. Upgrades. We don't have any upgrades, so let's go ahead and teach the system how to make the fortune upgrades. And Electrum, because I don't believe, yeah, we don't know how to make that either, so those are just pretty easy crafting. Let's do that. And let's make, I don't know, 20. And everything is oh no. That is an easy. fix. We're not going to be putting things into blocks too often. So now we should be able to make the upgrade. And there we go. So that shouldn't take too long. It's probably, yeah, it's got to make the Invar, which is a relatively quick craft. So once we have this done, we're going to try to get some more Draconium. And the idea is, at least for now, we're going to do this by hand. But eventually what we're going to do is we're going to get lava fabricators. These machines require a good bit of RF. They're pretty easy to make by the looks of it. And essentially, it's going to produce lava for us. We get a couple of these, and it's going to require power, of course, but it'll make a lot more lava than any of the crucibles ever will. Now, this setup is fine for the purpose we have here, which this is trying to make 3,000. You know what? That's fine. It doesn't really matter. But this is fine for this setup. The thing is, with the endstone, we're gonna want a lot of it. So I kind of don't want to. I don't want to take it. I want to take it seriously. So 34. That's going to require a lot of power, but it's fine. If we get Draconium, well, at least we're getting something. It's just not Draconium. We're actually, are we not getting the? Are we getting the thing that's rare? Yeah, we're getting. Of course we are. We're getting the thing that's more rare, and not Draconium. Really? Come on. Oh, man, this is frustrating. So Netherrack, we have some, I guess. Netherrack, it's a smaller chance. It's like, well, the crushed Netherrack. It's a much smaller chance of getting Draconium, but we've gotten one piece from half a stack. So you can see that we're going to need to mass produce this pretty heavily. And we're going to need to speed up our glowstone production as well. Glowstone, we're getting, so we can, honestly, if we do the niterwort spores, we could have a farm of that and have basically as much glowstone as we'd ever want. Otherwise, we get it from dust at a decent chance. So that's kind of where we'll be at. I think niterwort will be good. 10-10-10ing that and having a huge farm of it. We could also potentially take like half of the glowstone and send it back and take the other half and turn it directly into endstone with lava fabricators on our farm area, because honestly, the only thing that's going to be big over there is the pressers. All the power stuff is going to be over here, so it doesn't really matter too much about that. So just a matter of getting things done and producing more stuff. And that's really where we're at in the series. We need to just ramp up production of everything. So for like this, we're going to need so many Draconic Flux Capacitors. And all these require Awakened Draconium. And unfortunately, Awakened Draconium is nasty because we need Dragon Hearts. And these guys are, they have no recipe. They're only available from killing dragons. So we'll need to make a ton of Resurrection Stones. I think. There's other ways to revive the dragon, which might be better. But since RF Tools is locked out, we can't make the Dimension Builder, I believe it is. Which one? Yeah, the Dimension Builder has no recipe. So we either have to resurrect the dragon. Right there it is. Misspelled it. Which requires mob souls, wyvern cores, and draconium blocks. So it's not terrible. It does require a lot more draconium. There are bees that can resurrect the dragon, I believe. Glowing, that's not the ones. I don't remember what the bees are called, but there are bees that can resurrect the dragon. Useful, sure, but not the best of ways. We'll probably use that later, not to get Draconium, but to get the dragon hearts. So it's just one of those things of like, we've got to figure out how to get a lot of Awakened Draconium. And I'm probably going to look up different ideas, look on forums and Reddit and all that kind of stuff, and just see what other people are doing, have done, whatever, and just see if we can't get a little bit more, a little bit more of the like Draconium and Awakened Draconium and all that kind of stuff. Unless we get 2 pieces here. Well, we got a lot of cobalt and this other stuff, but none of it's what we wanted. I guess we just need 1 more piece, don't we? Alright, well, I can grab more netherrack. Do we have any more endstone? We do. Let's try the endstone first. Hey, there's our silver ore. So this is all just an experiment to see if silver ore is something we can use. So what it is I believe we do something like this. We're going to put Primal Mana there and silver ore there. And it should turn it to Primal Mana, but I'm not entirely, or not the Primal Mana, but the actual like mana dust. It should turn it to pure mana, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, because otherwise we dump it on the mana infused blocks, but I've heard you can use silver ore. Sounds weird, but the internet has never lied to me before. So what are going to be the kind of things we need to focus on? Well, I would like to get done with Thaumcraft for a little bit by going to the Eldritch Dimension. We need to do stuff there, but we can't do that until we get the right kind of portal. So we need to make another one of those, and that's easy enough. We have a good system for getting Wither Skulls. We just need to automate it a little bit better. But there's better things with bees. So kind of the next thing that we need to work on pretty heavily is setting up a system to mass produce bees and actually start doing more bee breeding and all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to need more forestry machines, we're going to need a lot more centrifuges, and we're just going to ramp up everything with bees. I'm not going to do too much of the bee breeding on camera, but if we can get to the alveary, the alveary requires a scented paneling, which requires pollen clusters and royal jelly, which comes from imperial and industrious bees. We can't get jaded bees, unfortunately. So that is, and then honey. It's not too bad once you get these 2 products. And then impregnated casings, which is easy enough. So pretty much with bees, if we can get to that point, there is a mutation thing, or there should be, unless it was disabled. Right there it is. Mutator, which just requires an alveary and some diamantine electrodes. That's actually really cheap. I'm glad that they made it really cheap. But this guy can be used with things like uranium to guarantee mutations. And so that's what we're going to use to get as much, to get the bees. That is kind of my plan, because there's so many different mutations that we're going to need. Can I combine these? No, of course not. There's so many different kinds of mutations that we're going to need to get to the bees that we need, that it's going to be easier that way, I think. Which I've kind of looked at it before. I've kind of showed off. I have a clipboard over here. No, it's in my chest that I was getting prepared to go to the Eldritch Dimension with. Not that one. Yeah, this clipboard. So like we need enchanted, arcane, esoteric, mysterious, charmed, ethereal, supernatural, windy, ferrous, earth and skystone, silicon, excited, energetic, infinity. So we need to get to the infinity bees, and there's a lot of steps. So that's the plan. If we can kind of skip those steps by, oh hey, there's the Draconium. And I think this might actually be enough. So yeah, if we can skip some of those steps. Oh, they're not the same. That's strange. If we can skip some of those steps, then we'll be a lot better off. So we have enough for another thing of Primal Mana. It's gonna make, doesn't it make like yeah, 288. So that is enough. So one more, this will be enough, so we can at least try, and then I'm gonna end the episode, work on stuff, and go from there. So some of the big things that we need to work on is getting the systems back up and running, filtering things and whatnot. Can we not use that one? No, we cannot. So that's interesting. We just got one. That is a big bummer. So there's still a little bit of broken Draconium, so we need to get the other kind. Maybe we will go for, despite it being a smaller chance, it's a 2% chance versus a 7% chance. It might be better to use Netherrack, just because this doesn't turn into anything good. Because we either turn it into Draconium with 4, or we have an 80% chance of getting 1. And that's not a good chance. I don't like those odds. Whereas with this, we get, let's see, we can crush it into this, which we can then use to get the dust, which guarantees us 3. So I think Netherrack is the way to go. So here's hoping we get 2 more pieces. It's not looking good. And yeah. So we'll try that experiment in the next episode, I think, because I don't have any Draconium. I have a little bit more Netherrack. We can go ahead and use it. Might as well. We also are already producing redstone, so despite it being a lower chance, it might still be better in the long run, just because of what we already have access to. Now, are there any like bees? There are Draconic Queens. So these are the ones. They produce Draconic Dust, which you can use to make the Dragon Egg. And I believe they have an ability that is there is some bee that has an ability of resurrection, but these are really insane to get. Oblivion, they require Oblivion bees, which are actually in here. They are right here. So Oblivion hives, it requires a lot of stuff, but might be worth it. So yeah, we just gotta figure out a good way to get a lot of bees that can do things that we need them to do, and go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll sift through this, and then we'll go from there. And if I have the Primal Mana that we can make, then perfect. But if not, I will work on it between episodes, and next time we'll do stuff. So we're gonna want to have a system somewhere. I don't know where we're gonna put it. Probably over here, because that makes sense to me. Or we can put it over here, like right here. Actually, this would be better. We have more access to things. Where we're gonna do the lava fabrication, and then I think we're gonna go with netherrack. Not sure yet. I'll decide that later. But there is the Draconium ore, so we should be able to do this now. And yeah, we hammer this stuff down to dust. And that's going to be so much better, because then we can just put it into here, or we can cook it directly into a single ingot. So honestly, just depends on what we want. We need more of these guys. Interflux crystals, how bad were they? So it's ender hyphen flux. So these guys require basic gates, diamonds. Okay, nothing terrible actually. Basic gates are just red wires with chipsets, so we could probably make another one by the time it's done with the one it's currently, like, we could probably make another one fairly quickly. So that, we just need some burnt quartz. Quartz is something else that we're going to need to kind of mass produce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put it in there. Let's see, we also need 4 of these to get 2 sets of those. So is it done? Nope, not quite. Redstone chipsets. Doesn't matter, we'll put them in here. Basic gates. All lasers are turning on. We'll need to automate a lot of stuff eventually, just to like kind of make everything nicer. Let's go see if there's any more Draconium to have. And it's done with the basic gates. It should be done with this. And it's probably already done with the Draconium, so there's that. And there we go. So we can just put this guy right here, and it will go faster in the future. So let's go ahead, smelt that up, and we'll get this done. So next time, I think we're going to start working on bees. We're going to kind of mass produce, we're going to do mass production of centrifuges, and probably put some other things over there just so that we can get as many beehives as we can, and probably automate some other things. I wouldn't mind a fruit picker for this guy, just so that we can automatically get everything we need without any issue. So I will probably also extend the platform. I might extend the platform. No promises on that. But we will need to run power over here, so I'll need a bunch of power lines, or we make a tesseract. Tesseract might actually be the easier option. Can we make just one of those? Can I tell you to go ahead and make one of those? We're missing a lot of rubber. Okay. Can I just tell you to make one of those now? Tesseract. I mean, this is why we set it up. So there's something that requires rubber, and I think it is the wires. So yeah, no substitutions. For whatever reason, I did this with a lot of them. No, that seems to be fine. So I've got to kind of sort my system out a lot with this kind of stuff, but no, it's fine. Cool. So it's going to make a Tesseract for me. And we'll just put a Tesseract over there. That'll be the easiest way. We're out of lava. Let's just pop down here. And, oh, it's making more stuff. So let's... Why are you... Okay. So... we need more lava. Do I have anywhere else that is using lava? How's our... Oh, wow. Yeah, our farm is doing fine, by the way. So... something else we could try is there is an item. I wonder how hard it is to make. And I wonder if it's actually available to us. It is in Thaumic Tinkering, I believe. No. Thaumic Esoteria. Everburn Urn. So that is incredibly easy. So, if we have just a fire centivis, so if we just get a node that has fire, we can easily produce infinite lava. That's an idea. Okay, so we need fuel. There's other fuels that we could use. Let's take those out. And let's actually just grab the water bucket. I'm going to go grab myself some more, another bucket, which, by the way, I discovered a glitch. If I tell my system to craft a bucket, it has no problem, but it gives me a bucket trophy. I don't know why, but it does, and that's terrible. So I should get another, yep, I'll get a couple more whenever that happens. So I don't know why that happens, but it is a bug. I've been throwing them all over there. Mine is in this chest right here. See, right there. So it's not like I'm cheating or anything, but I've been getting those and I don't know why. It's got to be something with the Planet Logistics and fake players and that kind of stuff. But this should be good enough to cook this up. It's going to take a little bit, but yeah, so next episode we are going to work on getting more bees taken care of, and eventually we'll work towards the Draconium again. So yeah, let's see if this works for the Primal Mana. If it does, this is so much easier because it shouldn't use this. And I don't know that we need Primal Mana for much else. It's really just used to make the Mana Dust and then Energy Relays and the Primal Mana. But the Mana Dust is what we're actually going to be getting with this. So that has all converted. Take a bucket of it, and we're going to set it right here. And it made mana infused ore. And that teleports you around. That is weird stuff. So this is... okay. So that's how you get the mana infused ore. Good to know. We're going to put that back. That is really weird stuff. It has the effect of all of the liquids. So that's how you get the mana infused ore. If we're going to sift the netherrack, we should get enough mithril ore. If we don't, we'll deal with that later. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little all over the place, and we didn't really get too much done, but we figured things out. And next time, like I said, bees, and then we will kind of continue on from there. Between episodes, I'm going to continue working on the farm, and I am going to start making more culinary generators. And we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye!